You probably know the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. It's one of the best known of the classical stories. And there are actually several versions of it that have come down to us. The basic scenario, of course, is that Eurydice is killed, bitten by a snake, dies, goes to the underworld. And then Orpheus, who was about to marry her, since this happened on her wedding day, works out a deal, and is allowed to go to the underworld to retrieve Eurydice. But on the way back up, the one condition that was set by Mercury was that he not look back. And he looks back, and of course, Eurydice disappears and heads back to the underworld. Actually, there are two versions, as I said, of that. In Ovid, it happens as I described it. It's a pure happenstance. The snake bites Eurydice. She dies. It just happens to be on her wedding day. In Virgil's version of it, in the Georgics, the snake is actually pursuing her. Orpheus recovering her from the dead is a form of vengeance, so it has another edge to it. So these are some variations for Orpheus. Lost, sometimes she won't return, no matter, or can't by herself. Not one descent, then. And the step-by-step walk back up path out of the deep world with each footfall recedes further into mist, closing in on memories. Back up into the air and clear day strive and turn to see once more the vanishing. Not one descent, and after each the path lightward follows. Orpheus blues. Just as well he thought she was carried off. There are losses that offer an end, completion. Oh, hell, he thought, in the silence of your absence, the world I believed I knew, as you become cipher and paradox, imagined, remembered, as you fade to blue dream, flash of white knee, taste of mouth and wet kiss of lips linger on tongue and transport me into engendered space. Entranced, not one descent, but wake later alone and one all lost as ever except to song. Brought her up, looked back, lost her just, he thought, I lose her every time that way. Another proposition of analogy. Or like Percival, pilgrim of the absolute, the grail glimpsed once as always, covered with white samite, carried in careful hands of a damosel, and lost for lack of the question, the proper word. The next day cast out, the castle vanished in mist on moor, but for the first time knew his own name. And therewith on his knees he went so nigh that he touched the holy vessel and kissed it, and anon he was whole, and then he said, Lord God, I thank thee, for I am healed. That's Mallory's Morte d'Arthur, one of the first great books published in English. Another to Orpheus. The song can't end unless, returned, she stays, and like Persephone, her secret twin, she won't. The deal made, Orfeo. Alas, we were not told. If she did not descend again into her other realm, remember, there would be no dance. And less dance, what are we? Less spring, less summer's ripening. What can we do, friend, but celebrate each departure, each death, step by step? Concerning Orfeo, a speculation. Perhaps he sang at frequencies she could not quite hear, Perhaps that difference in phase, in fact, grounded the attraction. She heard just the ghost of the song's glimmering insistence to the ascent, and inexplicably, even to herself, was drawn to it. And he, gratified that one so other, lovely, though he did not know, she did not hear what stunned all, enraptured, moved still in consonance. It seemed with the song he made. Never underestimate the poet's capacity for delusion. Looked back in unbelief to bask once more in her green gaze and saw, there she goes toward the dark's territory, lost once more. Descended into the dark haze. So he began again the cycle, his lament, "O Eurydice, my love," and felt his heart once more opening into it. Not one, he sang, dissent, even if she only heard a simulacrum, a ghostly whisper of his wretched hymn. Eurydice offers a few words. "Never mind, he took me with a snake bite on my wedding night. Something about the pomegranate seed's sweet, lingering astringency that met my need. That day I did indeed become a bride." Orpheohypostasis. Not the Thracian women, angry that he turned them down. No, the Maenads, Dionysus devotees, who could not be wounded in frenzy, carried fire on their heads, weren't burned, oil tits glistening in moonlight. He gave up orgies, bacchantes, obliteration to take Apollo's path. They broke his flesh and scattered it like bread. The head sang lifted with the lyre, the song still sweet adrift, beyond all carnage, bobbing in the river's flow, lost in memory, singing what it still heard. Not one dissent. Through the world sundered as it disappeared. Orpheus post-mortem. Also, I call this one a poem ending in a phrase by Gary Snyder, which is actually not from a Snyder poem, but from a Snyder interview in a holiday special, of all things. Because the birds, because the leaves and beasts and stones murmured their laments into your ears, Orpheus, we raise our voices. And you in the afterlife, to whom to sing? What in hell has ears to hear the songs that made all earth resonate? You now know what delight survives dismemberment, endures the end, the shades. But the lyre sounds still through all that springs from earth, its song dying to be heard in everything that vanishes, the lilac, the cardinal, the oriole. The stream flows down. What the world still demands of us is song.